I don't have any sound.
I don't have any sound either. I was gonna say, is that something like
Oh, that's my bad. I shut it off a while ago.
my screwing things up again? Because it's in.
Now I can hear it. It's
There
all
we
good
go.
now.
Awesome. I just didn't want it to be my fault. You know, it's been my fault pretty much. I've been screwing up a lot. So I definitely appreciate y'all bearing with me right now. As I mean, this isn't the easiest thing to do. Is to try to control this stream. I just thank God that Benny's here. Because if Benny wasn't here, this would be like 18 times harder for me. So again, huge shout out to Benny EU Gold. Go follow him on Twitter. Exclamation point casters. You can go follow all of us on Twitter. But yeah, make sure you show everybody here some love because everyone's working really hard to bring you these matches. And even though it's not up to your guys' standards, even though this isn't Pro League, we have no producers anymore. This is literally just a community cast. So, I mean, we apologize for anything that might not be perfect for you, but we're all trying our hardest here, and we're all volunteers. So, at the end of the day, it's the effort that counts.
So, with the current bans that have come out, Hibana being banned is the only one that really stands out to me. We seem to see hard breach bans on Bank. It's one of the maps that you have to have at least 2 hard breachers to make a dent in any defense most of the time. So obviously we're going to see Thermite and Maverick being brought. Cade could be picked here, but the Thatcher being brought is most likely going to deter the defenders from trying to play Cade here. So the reasoning for the Hibana ban as opposed to the Thermite or the Maverick ban is because Hibana can open up multiple hatches easily and quickly, whereas with Maverick it takes time to open up each hatch and you have to dedicate a lot of time to opening up each one, a lot of concentration when it comes to, you know, your positioning, and you can get killed from below the hatch by a C4 if you're not careful, or you can just accidentally peek a little bit too far as you're opening part of it and get shot from shot from below. So the Hibana ban here just trying to, you know, add a little bit more of a skill gap to getting as much control as they want. Capital will be brought most likely every single round because from these positions above the hatch, he's going to have full ability to use his utility however he wants. Nothing can really stop him. I would imagine that Yeti playing on the Maestro is going to be putting an Evil Eye inside a garage and playing the long angle. And we actually are going to see Spades go to a Cade here. So, you know, interesting. That's all at that point it's going to depend on, you know, how quickly the EMPs are expended, and because we have Prod and we have someone else on attack with PRO at the beginning of the game.
I was gonna say this is gonna be really hard. Can you pull the scoreboard up real quick, Benny, so I can tell you which ones? Okay, so that's Prophecy. Okay.
And yeah, Prophet is on Thatcher and Prod is on Capital. Carnage playing on the Pulse, most likely be playing inside of Gold to relay as much info as possible. Just going to be playing inside at the bottom of Blue right now to give Reed as much intel as possible if any attackers are going to be pushing his position, as he is playing at the top of Blue Stairs. He's obviously going to be using his utility to try to delay the attack as long as possible. It is essential that the attackers take control of server and of the Blue Stairs. So they're going to be making their way in here. Reed just patiently waiting for his opportunity to strike, as from this position, he's practically like a Cobra. The hatch is going to get opened up below him, or right next to him, but is going to be holding his rotation from below, as Drip is going to get a nade onto him. So well-timed Thatcher to get rid of the ADS, and a well-timed nade to efficiently remove his position. Pixel has taken a lot of damage, most likely opening a hatch. So this is what I was talking about before. It's more difficult to open the hatches as Spades does take him down. A nice pre-fire goes up the hatch, but not quite landing the shots, as Prophecy is going to finish off Thumbus here. So there's two sides to this. The attack is in good position because they have a man advantage. The defense is in good position because I think only one of the hatches is open above them. So that pretty much leaves Prod in a position to where he has to only play this hatch. That gives the defenders a little bit more rotation inside of the red hallway, as Carnage is going to be calling out all 3 defenders inside of server, and they're going to anticipate that one is playing above the hatch itself. So Yeti playing back, Spades playing in red hall, and Carnage playing in gold. They have 2 C4s available to deny the plant. along with Yeti, able to watch the long angle towards the backwards plant, which is going to be the big problem here for the attackers. They have to take him out. One C4 is expended early, not quite landing anything. Spade's going to be peeking towards server, not seeing anything as they're waiting for the smokes and fire arrows to hold the defenders in as much position as possible. Yeti's going to actually rotate through the fire as Drip has made his way into the site as the plant is going down. Nice teamwork there, as it looks like the defenders are going to win out this round. Prophecy going down as well, and Carnage finishing it off onto Prophet. Now, well played by the defenders. They had the crossfires available. The distractionary tactics used by the attackers were not good enough, but I think that has a lot to do with Maverick getting picked off by Spades early to ensure that red hatch covered their stayed closed and covered their rotations towards the site itself.
Yeah, I definitely think that the Maverick pick was a huge pick early on, and a lot of the, like you said, that hatch above red was just unable to be opened up, and so I mean that just allowed for a lot more free rotation from the side of DG. So looking into that, even with all the utility that started to come down, it looked like that could have been good for Akatsuki. However, just the retake while the plant was starting to go down from DG was just unmatched from Akatsuki. They just had no answer for all the pushes, all the gunfire coming from which way. Like you said, all those crossfires that were being held. It just wasn't looking good for the attack, and we'll be looking at that first round going in favor of the defense as they look to go up to this top floor now. So I'd say that this is coming to the meta nowadays as the primary secondary site, if you will, the secondary site. But used to see Teller's Archives, but it's kind of switched more towards this top floor, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think it's just primarily due to how easy it is when you're attacking Teller's Archives to lock the defenders, like to cut them off from one site completely. So, you know, this attacking upstairs obviously takes a lot more coordination, basically because certain positions when you're attacking upstairs hold more weight than they normally would. Like a player getting into ATMs and watching in order to cover the player playing on the north window, like we see Drip doing right now, and Prod looks like he's going to be covering him. So these are two very important positions, as Yeti's actually going to take out Pixel. Huge pick onto the Zofia. Well played by Yeti. He's now going to rotate his way back into sight. That is poor droning on the side of the attack to not make sure that stock is clear, as they still have yet to make any forward progress into the building. Now they're just going to try to recover their position here, because that kill onto Pixel is going to be important because they won't be able to remove the Evil Eyes as easily. However, they do still have Thatchers and Sledge's grenades, if possible. Spades coming in from below for an eventual C4 to try to deny the wall from getting opened up by Thermite completely. So we're just going to see Talon is waiting with a drone to watch for this. Spades hears the drone, is looking around for it to make sure his position is still unknown to the attackers. It seems to be the case at the moment, at least, as Pixel's going to be watching that drone. That drone did just spot Yeti going into stock. He's going to get taken down promptly after that by Prophet. Spades now just waiting for an attacker. Oh, saw one for a second, but is just biding his time, waiting for the perfect opportunity. Is going to take down Talon as he goes for the wall. Very patiently played and very, very well played by Spades there. Not giving away his position too early is going to get the necessary pick that his team needs to most likely win the round, as now the walls are going to stay closed completely. So really not looking good for the attackers now, as it looks like Sledge is going to be trying to pinch this Valkyrie, but she's most likely going to rotate her way back out. A Valkyrie cam was destroyed by Prod here. And looks like Prophecy, Prod, and Drip are going to try to make something happen. Reed, still playing in the closet, is going to deny forward progress into the hallway. This effectively locks the attackers out of actually pushing anywhere effectively. And this is just going to be a waiting game for DG to win out this round, because there's really nothing that Akatsuki can do. However, as I say that, Drip is going to take down one onto Spades. He could take down another if he looks towards his left onto Thumbus. He's going to be cooking a nade, throwing it in. Can't quite land the shots, as Thumbus is going to cover the hallway efficiently, going to be going for a free fire, takes down a second. Prophet, however, will trade it back onto Reed. Prophecy in the site now, has to go for kills, has no time to go for the plant. Looking around for these last two defenders, they're both completely away from each other. Even though Prophet is able to get that kill onto Carnage, it doesn't matter as Thumbus was still alive and in good position to use his Evil Eyes efficiently to potentially gain intel and deny the plant, even if Prophet had the diffuser, which he didn't. So great plays from Spades there, and from Yeti, just to throw the attack off completely.
Yeah, definitely some big plays there, and already looking strong here for Disrupt as they're going to be putting 2 rounds in a row, and we'll be switching it up now to Teller's Archives, and not wanting to go to open areas. It's not a very viable bomb site. We don't see a lot of teams go there. It is yet to really... we've yet to really see a setup for that site that is really viable. There are some teams that will decide to go there just to throw the attack off completely, but it's the most of the time, the only way you'll win that site is if the attack is just completely unaware that you're going to be going there, right? So definitely not the most, successful strategy, but either way here, we're going to be seeing a fairly similar lineup as we've been seeing it. Disrupt likes to bring a fairly stagnant lineup on their defenses. They like to bring that Valkyrie and the Mozzie combo in order to gather as much intel as they can for the later rounds.
Well, we see Mozzie being used a lot for not only, to gain intel if a drone is captured, but to deny intel for the attackers as well, based on the positioning of the Mozzie to make sure that drones can't get into certain positions that they want to, at least not immediately anyway. We are going to see a bit of a change up in the operator lineup as Carnage is taking Dock now instead of Castle. I feel like Castle would only be utilized on the top floor anyway, so this isn't that big of a deal. But seeing, like you said, a very similar defending lineup and the exact same attacking lineup from Akatsuki. So Spades now playing inside of the janitor's closet. Is going to be trying to deny the push for as long as possible, making sure that no drones are spotting him in this position as the wall near him has been opened up into CEO. Carnage is going to give away his position as the C4 does get thrown out. Doesn't yield any kills. That could have been huge as Carnage picks up one onto Pixel. So that's well done by them. Spades has taken a ton of damage here, but Carnage holding this angle is going to effectively prevent any push going towards Spades, at least immediately. But it looks like Spades has rotated back down, and Drip is going to be coming up from the main staircase, but falls victim to a hole made by Thumbus looking towards the main staircase. Nice shot from Thumbus, covering Carnage's back as they try to pinch him out. This is another scenario where none of the attackers are in position to trade each other out as they challenge these gunfights. Prophecy looking for these shots onto Reed. But Reed playing patiently behind the shelves isn't going to take any damage. The attack now has to coordinate something here. Basically, from this position, Prophet could lock down the rotations inside and outside of the site. Talon takes down one onto Spades and is going to be opening up the open area wall. Yeti takes down one onto Prophet, most likely a flank from above. Or no, it actually looks like just a gunfight from inside of the site. He's going to push up and take down Prod, effectively taking control, and Reed's going to finish off Talon. So DG just looking too organized here for Akatsuki to find any holes in their defensive locations.
Already, this is just looking very, very rough for Akatsuki. Disrupt have been on one right now, and look at the scoreboard, only what math here? Only 7 kills going in favor of Akatsuki thus far. So definitely not looking very strong for them. As going to be seeing again the basement defense here, and we will see a 6-pick off of that clash. I like that 6-pick. It kind of shows that they might possibly go for the open area, and they will be switching it up to, I mean, they're obviously going to be going lockers from what we can tell, and that Cade's going to be definitely a much stronger choice for the basement site, as he's going to be able to deny those hatches. They still are bringing the Maverick though, so not going to be the hardest thing in order to deny, along with the Thatcher. So definitely look forward to see how Akatsuki choose to deal with that.
Yeah, the idea behind the Cade pick inevitably would be to not only deny the hatches, but if the EMPs are poorly spread out in terms of what they cover when they're thrown, it could effectively make it so that it's impossible to use any of the hard utility that the attackers are bringing, and most likely at least 1 or 2 Thatchers are going to be expended to try to take control of the blue stairs and server, so that leaves a lot of wiggle room for Spades to utilize his utility efficiently. But what I think the biggest point of that 6th pick away from the Clash towards the Cade not only is to bring a more utility effective operator for their defensive style, but to try to get the attackers to pick a Zofia or bring more grenades, effectively useless utility that they won't be able to use when they actually push in. Obviously, Akatsuki did not fall for this bait, as they have their specified operator lineup to attack this site. But bringing the Capitao is definitely important and does a lot for their team if they're able to utilize it efficiently. Prophet could have gone for a challenge on the blue stairs, is going to opt away from that, however, waiting for his thermite to show up, and now a lot of defenders are actually playing inside a server at the moment, so Disrupt just are going to try to stop the attack here. It seems as they're acting as if the bomb site is inside a server itself, which sometimes it can be in specific scenarios like this. Spades will most likely throw another one of his Electro Claws, as Prophet takes a ton of damage from one of the smoke canisters, and now they're going to have to relocate their position. They know exactly where Smoke is playing, but he has an ADS with him, so they can't nade him out, and they don't want to use any more Thatchers if they don't have to. Another smoke does get thrown, and now Talon going to be burning the ADS. EMP does go down, and nade gets thrown immediately as well. But Reed is actually pushed up the stairs. Are they aware of his positioning now? They have to re-drone him. They have to figure out exactly where he is. They know based off of that exactly where he is because he shot that drone. He's going to be going for some shots down to Prod, and is going to be spotted immediately, inevitably waiting to push. Reed opts to not shoot the drone as fast as possible, is now going to lay down on the stairs, and he's proving to be a huge problem for these attackers. They have to go for a pre-fire. He does get downed. Good shots there from Drip, as he's going to be pre-firing a little bit more, but there's only a minute left, and a lot of the attackers are very weak. So I'd say that this is played very well by the defenders at the moment. He might have a spare nade to throw at the shield if he so desires. Fire arrows are going to be expended instead, and Thumb is going for the shots, but is immediately traded back out by Talon. Now the wall could get opened up, but the Electro Claw is still on the wall, I believe. So they're gonna have to throw their last EMP to get it, as the hatches still need to get opened up from above, and Spades is gonna be ripping a C4 to try to stop him, but instead Talon is gonna peek and take Spades out. That was a great shot, and now they just have to get this Electro Claw off the wall if they want to go for the backwards plant at all, and that's the biggest problem in front of them at the moment.
Yeah, definitely troublesome with that electrical on the walls. It's going to be a peek up through the hatch. That was Yeti. He just slaps down on the Pixel, but it's now a 1v3 for the Pulse. Wonder if Carnage still has the Nitro Cell available. If he does, it's going to be the perfect time to toss it out. But no, he takes down one. He takes down the plant as well. It's going to have to be the drop from the hatch, and it's going to be the Capitao of Prod. He'll clean that round up. Almost a nice clutch there on the 1v3 from Carnage, but ultimately, it's a nice shot there from Prod in order to take down that round. But ultimately, the first round here on the board for Akatsuki, and it almost looked like they were going to throw that away. It definitely didn't seem like that was going to be their round, as so much time was wasted clearing out that smoke on top of the blue stairs. Definitely a strong play there from Reed in order to waste so much time. And then we saw them try to go for that plant. It seemed like they weren't going to be able to do it even then. So definitely big plays there from Akatsuki in order to bring that round for them.
Yeah, that was a good push by Carnage there to at least deny the plant and stop the cover for at least a second. He was just unable to get behind the wall for a split second. He was only on 1 HP. So all Prod had to do was land that ever so important one shot onto the shoulder of Carnage. Much time was wasted by the defenders on blue stairs. That was definitely an effective strategy in that regard. Everybody was trading out efficiently, and it took so long for the hatches even to get opened up above the site that, you know, the defenders had a lot of positions that they could play as they sort of fell back, as they were traded out. You know what I mean? Like, like there was never really like a rotation cut off by the attackers for any of the defenders to walk into, except for the server hatch getting opened up by Reed. And we did see, because of how long it took to get control of the blue stairs, they were never really able to get the electric claws off the wall. The Thatchers were not utilized efficiently, but I think it was more not the inefficiency of the way Thatcher was played, but the more efficient use of the way Cade was being played and the way that the defense was playing as a whole. You know what I mean?
Yes. I definitely think that was just that was definitely a defense that should have gone the way of Disrupt, but ultimately just the fragging power from Akatsuki just too strong, I guess, for DG, coming down to the final 30 seconds. But either way, it looks like we're going to be seeing the exact same attack here from Akatsuki on the square. They're definitely going to be wearisome of this Valkyrie roaming yet again. As last round, it was the Valkyrie and able to take down Talon as he was putting down that exothermic charge. And it sounded as though was the Impact able to take down the exothermic charge? It doesn't look like it was. It looks like the wall was successfully opened up. So unfortunate there from whoever had the Impact in hand. I know Carnage or Reed doesn't have impacts anymore. It might have been Carnage, but either way, about half the round left remaining and still a 5v5 here. No damage taken out, but oh, Yeti, has he made his way into the stock trading room unnoticed is the question. It looks like they have two players. If he just peeks wide onto this window, he could possibly find two. Talon has tried to make his entry in towards the site. Yeti will take down Prod. He's going to, oh, he should be able to take down Pixel, but Pixel gets off his drone and looks around. To Spades will take down Talon, making things a 3v4 here, as it's going to be Pixel, Yeti, and Thumbus to double up, leaving Profit all on his lonesome. He's going to try to find one, but he's not going to find any, as it's going to be Spades from inside of sight to clean up that round and put the fourth on the board for DG.
Disrupt have a tendency to have calculated aggression, and it seems to be paying dividends here. Obviously, Spades peeking out from the closet to take down Talon, knowing that Talon's primary focus was at the wall itself. Even though the impact grenades were unsuccessful at keeping the wall closed, still, you know, there's only so many places the attackers can actually play when they're attacking from the skylight side. Obviously, the window play from Drip seems to be, I don't want to say non-existent, because he's obviously there applying some pressure, but he doesn't have the utility he needs to open up the necessary angles to cover his team per se. It's just from the way that DG are playing. It's not has nothing to do with the way that he's playing Sledge or the way that he's playing the windows, because he has to be there. Someone has to be on the windows. What it really comes down to is the attackers not making sure that none of the Disrupt players are playing inside of stock, because Yeti seems to just rotate his way back in there and gets free picks. Even though the walls are getting opened up, the angles that the attackers are holding are insignificant in comparison to what Disrupt actually have control of and what they're trying to prevent. So, you know, if there is a Valkyrie camera inside a square, that gives Spades the intel to push out onto Talon. If you know, Yeti's playing in stock, that gives the defenders the ability to rotate in and out of the hallway with little to no penalty. You know, there are just certain aspects of the attack that aren't being utilized that are really hurting Akatsuki, especially on a site like upstairs where it takes a lot of coordination and certain positions can carry a lot of weight, as we discussed before.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I don't think like the lack of presence on the, like those windows like you were talking about was definitely paid big dividends for the side of Disrupt, as I mean they were able to pretty much freely roam like throughout the site, it seemed like, without like you said, much pressure being applied. Already seeing Drip though getting fairly aggressive into the main lobby. Does have a drone here on the Mozzie, so could even go for a grenade or just possibly just run in through sight. As he knows the site's completely clear now, he could just walk right into tellers, and not gonna see him do anything just yet. But no, actually, Dripple's gonna go for the grenade as he tries to enter sight, but Carnage on that ACOG is gonna be able to take him down. It's just 2 trades back and forth here, back to a 3v3. As to the, I don't even know what's really happening. I guess there's an attack going on upstairs. Carnage has holes down below. It's gonna be Pixel to find Yeti though. That's one of the big fraggers on DG. Leaving just the 2 roamers, I believe. There's going to be the dock upstairs and then possibly the smoke. I believe he's inside of open area hallway. But, yeah, he's going to be right there inside of the elevator hallway. Going to be looking to see if Carnage is able to stop this attack from entering in through this main desk. As he's got these holes open for him to possibly peek down and find the frags.
Yeah, the vertical pressure being applied by the defenders right now is what's halting the inevitable push. Prod is sort of off in no man's land. He needs to coordinate with the rest of his teammates in order to effectively push off into the site. Spots are coming out from the defensive cameras that have been placed in position. Spades throwing a smoke into the bomb itself. I think that was a mistake, as he's now going to be watching towards the beeper doorway. He's going to go for the shots onto Talon, can't quite land him. And now it looks like Carnage is the last one upstairs, going to be trying to rotate around. And do they know, are they aware of his position? He's looking for some pre-fires, is going to give his position away. Is getting all sorts of information based on some of these spots. Is going to almost land those shots onto Prod, but not quite. So that was well played by Akatsuki. And it was also well played by Disrupt in the sense that like they had a ton of vertical pressure above and left unpressured. We saw how effective it was at stopping the attackers' progress into the site itself. But once the attackers had the man advantage, the defenders had to rotate back. We saw Spades get back into sight. He went for the challenge onto someone to go for a trade, but he needed to play his time a bit more efficiently. I feel like if Carnage would have been able to get back into sight as well or hold a more effective angle, he could have helped out Spades a little bit more. But because of his 3 armor status, he wasn't able to effectively move around the map as quickly as was required. So, well done by Akatsuki. That was a good, main lobby push, and it was a good defense from Disrupt, and Akatsuki just came out on top there at the end of that half.
Yeah, definitely a big round for Akatsuki to take off the board from Disrupt. They are down 4-2, but it's definitely a better position than going down 5-1. We will be looking at them go over to their defenses now. I definitely see Bank as a defensive-sided map, so looking to see
it
them.
Can be, for sure.
Yeah, especially depending on the bans. And with the bans right now, there isn't a Maverick ban. There is a Hibana ban, though, so that kind of favors the defense a little bit. The Jackal ban and then the Mira and Echo ban, those are just standard. So definitely I would see this facing, or favoring the defenders a little bit here. So it's all going to be down to how Akatsuki choose to defend this and how well they're going to be able to defend this. It looks like they're trying to hold on to server. Not going to be placing a shotgun there, at least as of right now. Pixel just making a few more rotates. May choose to rotate over there later, but ultimately it looks like it's going to be down to the Jaeger and the Pulse to hold down that server.
Yeah, Pulse will most likely retreat back into gold at some point. He's just trying to gain as much intel as he can while he can before the attackers really, pressure that position. Right now, the rest of the attack is just droning out the rest of the map, making sure that nobody's hiding in some rat corner waiting to jump out at them at just the right moment. So I'd say that right now it's just a waiting game for the defenders. They just have to patiently wait for the attackers to either manage their time effectively or ineffectively. And I think that the Hibana ban plays into that a lot because the attack has to manage their time much more efficiently since they can't open the hatches as quickly. So, Reed now coming in here with about 1 minute and 30 seconds left to start opening the hatches. Yeti just making some rotations in through the kitchen and towards the square lobby so they can quickly get to the blue stairs as fast as possible. So that saves a little bit of time here and there, maybe 5 to 6 seconds, but that pays dividends especially on a map like Bank that takes a long time to gain full control of, as you can see here. So Spades already on the main stairs here, just cutting off any rotations from the defenders, is going to be waiting as this defender breaks down the barricade. He's just going to be waiting patiently for the defender to push. But now with his position known, I doubt the defenders will go for any kind of flank unless they double up and try to just, take Spades in a heads-up engagement. But I doubt that will be their play, as Evil Eyes are getting taken out in position to stop the thermite charges. And Talon is, like I said, has retreated to gold. Prod has now been taken down by Spades. Not quite sure where he was. Oh, from the hatch itself. This is where Maverick comes into play here. Gives them those vital angles they need in order to kill defenders in certain positions that they want to naturally play in. Drip, however, playing inside of the garage could still stop the plant if need be, but I imagine that once the execute actually goes down, fire bolts and smoke bolts will be put to block these positions as the wall has been opened up. Carnage could run into sight now, but all the information that Talon is gathering is going to prompt him to throw a C4. Is he going to get it? C4, I think, got shot out of the air. And is Carnage going to get the plant down? Yes, he is. Even in the midst of all the smoke and the Evil Eyes, Talon will trade it right back, but Spades trades him down immediately as he's still playing above the hatch, giving adequate cover to his team. It looks like Drip has been down, but not quite sure from where, as it looks like, who was that just got killed? The entire team, as I say that. Carnage went onto Pixel, Reed onto Prophecy, and Spades onto Drip, who was already down. So those fire arrows proving to be more effective than you would anticipate, at least in terms of getting immediate frags. So, great plays there from, who won that? The defense or the attack? The attack won that, I'm sorry. Yeah, great plays from the attack there. Just having the angles they need to take down the necessary players playing in anchored positions like Red Hall, and having the Capital bolts available to cut off lines of sight that they need to go for the plant. And Carnage with the quick math going on in his head, knowing that the Evil Eye can't stop him and he's not taking any damage from the smoke, so he's just going to sit there and plant straight through the entire thing.
Yeah, definitely a big play from Carnage in order to stick that plant down and able to, put his team in a post-plant position. That's probably the most advantageous position for an attack to be in, is a post-plant. Especially on a room like server, it makes it so hard for those attackers to try to push through those angles, watching the hatch, as well as those angles that can be held from the server room itself. You can see players holding behind the rack, even behind that little cart next to default plant spot. It's all really strong for an attacker to hold. So definitely a reason for why you want to try to deny the plant outright, which is why the defense is bringing so much plants in now. They've got the pulse, they've got the maestro, they can get the shocks off, and they've got the Valkyrie as well as the smoke. So definitely a very plant denial heavy operator setup, and unfortunately it just didn't work out for them last round. I'm not sure if it was just a lack of intel or what exactly it was, but need to see Akatsuki try to work that out in this next round, as they're going to be going back down to server.
Ultimately, I think the DG are just playing very well. Prophet is playing a very aggressive angle at the top of Blue Stairs. Is going to immediately retreat back down after the floor above him is opened up to watch specifically that angle. Talon still relaying intel from inside of the server room itself. And once again, we're seeing Yeti open up these angles and Reed coming to open up parts of the hatches. Most likely the same angle that we saw him utilize before. Won't waste any more utility on that hatch. He's just going to have that angle open to shoot smoke and Capital bolts if need be. Thatcher's being expended now to gain control. Gain control of server itself. Yeti just peeking, waiting, biding his time. The attack had made much more progress this time than they did the first time. Flashes are going in to try to, just make sure that no ADSs are in position to stop their forward progress, as Prophecy seems to know that a player is coming from dirt now, and Talon's giving the call out, so one's pushing down blue, so great play from Prophecy there. Not knowing where anyone else is at the moment, Prophecy's just waiting, biding his time, looking for drones, spots one. Yeti knows that he is still playing in there and that he's going to be weak, so he has to wait for his teammates to open up above so that he can pressure. Prophecy rotates his angle, and Yeti didn't even see him cross. It seems like he was on a drone and just spotted him at the wrong time. Yeti now knows exactly where he is, playing behind the server rack. He's going to win that fight. Going for some pre-fires, taking out the barbed wire, pre-firing towards the pixel angle back behind the B bomb site, and now Prod is just waiting patiently for the C4, for the call from his teammates to throw the C4 as Reed watches the main stairs, and Spades is most likely going to expend his utility at just the right moment. Prod being forced out of his position now is trying to, you know, play with the fire a little bit, just waiting at the perfect angle to try to throw the C4, trying to take as minimal damage as possible. Another fire arrow being expended as the C4 was pre-ripped. The C4 comes out and stops Carnage mid-plant as Yeti pushes in now. Spades pushing Red Hall to try to stop the denial, but he's going to get taken out immediately. Talon with another C4 is going to stop Yeti. Now it's all up to Reed coming from main stairs. He's able to take one out, but can't quite get the other. And Akatsuki win another round in their favor.
Yeah, definitely a big round for Akatsuki to win. Again, to push things off of match point for the time being, it will be a 5-3 scoreline instead of that 6-2, which would be a very difficult position in order for Akatsuki to try to come back from it. So I had a quick look at the scoreboard here. Spades, Carnage, and Yeti really popping off for their teams there with a lot of kills. And I couldn't exactly say. I think it might have been Prod at the top of the scoreboard for Akatsuki. No, it's going to be Talon, actually. So it was Talon with 8 kills. So definitely big plays for him playing on that Cade at the moment. But we'll be looking at the top floor now. So it's going to be go up the stairs to CEO. So hopefully we're going to be able to see Akatsuki try to bring a few rounds back here, as it's not really looking too strong for them. If they're able to pull together maybe 1 or 2 more rounds before a DG can set this up in match point, I think that this is going to be a very interesting match towards the latter rounds.
Just as a disclaimer, that round played by the defense and by the attack and by the attack specifically was as picture perfect as you could want in terms of the way that the defensive utility was expended to deny the plant. Prod played his position very well to not take any damage from the fire and still stay in position to throw a C4 that he had already pre-ripped. The pre-ripped C4 is the key there, because if the attackers don't hear the rip of the C4, they think that they're safe. So that's why those C4s getting thrown are netting those kills. Normally, if they hear a C4 rip, they will back off of the plant. So Prod being in a position to still have the C4 pre-ripped and still throw it at the same time, even though the fire arrows were expended to try to remove him from that position, they weren't at the angle necessary to really stop it. There really isn't much that Capital can do there, because he has to expend his utility from that position in order to gain as much use from his utility as possible. So right now, I'd imagine that, you know, Akatsuki are feeling pretty good about that last defense. Some air jabs getting positioned so that the defenders can't push out the way that we saw them push out when Disrupt was on defense, you know, from that janitor's closet. And Talon now playing underneath the windows, and with Drip and most likely a Valkyrie cam outside, they could do a double jump out and just try to take this north window pressure out immediately if they wanted. But Spades is most likely just going to be playing this very passively, as he does look for an angle and can't quite land it, but now is actually going to get it onto Talon. So it's a huge pickoff now. With the wall will most likely be able to be opened up more efficiently, which is exactly what's going to happen now. Is Carnage is going to open the wall. Pixel looking for the air jab, laying down. That's why he's laying down like that, trying to, you know, try to see if he can shoot the air jab. He hears it right outside of his door, so he's not going to actually peek out. Some holes being opened up by Pixel now to try and maintain an angle inside of the site, as Drip is playing behind the bomb itself. Spades, is Spades aware of his position is the question. Thumbus, however, is going to take one down onto Prod. So DG looking good here in a 2-man advantage looking into this last minute. It's, you know, all they really have to do is execute onto the site.
Yeah, and about 50 seconds left. This actually seems like it's going to come out, but no. Drip is going to get undetected. He will find one, but it's Yeti for the immediate trade. Another trade comes out, though, leaving us in a 2v3. They've yet to get Pixel outside of the stock, off the stock closet. Spades is going to go for the rappel in, though. He's going to be in CEO now, as it's going to be a 2v3 here. 30 seconds left, and it looks like they're going to try to take these kills. Spades, it's a nice shot. 2 nice shots from Spades. He'll say goodnight to Prophet and Pixel. Prophecy and Pixel going to be putting themselves onto match point here, looking to secure 3 points for themselves.
Great play by Spades there. He knew that Pixel was playing in the closet, but the team comms were made to focus their attention on the other player in sight and look for him. The scan from Spades onto the site was very well done. He has 12 kills so far in this game on Bank, so he's showing up a lot for his team here. He's had a lot of impact frags that have been really important, naming specifically that one kill onto the Thermite when they were on defense from below. Just he bides his time very patiently and is very good at picking his opportunities to strike. So Akatsuki once again going back upstairs. Their defense up here wasn't, I would say, bad, but some unnecessary challenges onto certain positions, made it so that they took a man disadvantage quite early. Talon needed to stay alive a little bit longer to maybe at least play with Electric Claws a little bit more, but he's actually going to opt to go for Mozzie this time instead of Cade. This could give him a little bit more maneuverability if he decides to play inside of the site. Could also give him the opportunity to, throw a C4 over the wall if callouts are made by his teammates to throw it into certain positions that are most likely predetermined. More Valkyrie cameras are going to get thrown out to gain as much intel as possible, but I think that Thumbus is immediately going to go look for the Valk cam. That's practically his only job, at least for the first few seconds of the round. I think that the only way that, Akatsuki could bypass this, the IQ finding the camera, which he is going to find, is to then throw another camera out.
Oh my god.
Oh, nice shot from Thumbus. Drip getting just a little bit too aggressive on the windows, gathering as much intel as he could, but ultimately falling victim to Thumbus's methodical play, looking for the camera and then waiting for the inevitable peek, knowing that he is being spotted by that camera. So at the moment, once again, Akatsuki find themselves in a man disadvantage, and all it's going to take now from DG is to just take this attack step by step and just try to open up the angles they want to hold and eventually get the wall open and go for an execute on its site.
Yeah, definitely looking for them to try to use this utility to their best advantage, and already taking out that Valkyrie early on is going to be big. She did waste the C4 and did get very aggressive. I'm not sure what the plan was there, but either way, going to be an operator off the board. And it looks like they're going to be trying to trap this smoke inside of the janitor closet again with those air jabs. Going to be seeing if they can't try to take him out of here, as he did do a little bit of damage to them on this attack last time. So going to see if they're going to be able to deny that aggression from Pixel in round number 10. As Spades is going to make things even more advantageous for the attack here. He'll catch Talon slipping inside of the main lobby, trying to go for that kill onto Thumbus on the main rappel, but I'm going to make things a 2v3 instead. A couple of pre-fires come out through the wall, but nothing's going to land just yet, as more drone work is coming out with about a minute left in the round, and still a decent amount of utility on the defense. They really only have the smokes from Pixel, but that ACOG from Prod is going to be having to do a lot of work, and as I say that, Prod is actually going to get taken down by Thumbus, and it's now a 5v2. Could we see a flawless round here? No, Prophecy is going to shut that down, but it's not going to matter, as Reed is going to find the final kill. Going to secure 3 points here for Disrupt Gaming, as they'll take map number 1 on, what is this map? Bank.
Bank.
I blanked for a second.
Unfortunately for Talon, he felt like he needed to make a play, and he thought that he had an opportunity to take Thumbus off the North Rappel, which would have been a big play, would have given the defenders the freedom to, rotate around the site a little bit more safely. But at the same time,